Hello everyone, this is Gail from Gail's Upstairs Studio. I hope you're all doing well. How are you doing on getting ready for Christmas? I am doing pretty good, got a lot of wrapping done, but I'm running out of the paper that I wanted to use on a lot of my things, but I had plenty of shirt boxes left. I hadn't done any arty type videos in a while either, so I decided to sneak a little bit of that back in. I'm going to show you how I made this little gift box with a tag right on it. No wrapping paper needed. And I'm basically going to be showing you two hacks in one. I'm going to show you how to make this little box and how to decorate it. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, we're going to start with this small shirt box, and it is something that you probably all have plenty of this time of year. And this particular little hack that I'm going to do is out there. I've seen it a million times and I've received some before. And I'm going to start with this. Did you know that you could make this one two-piece box into two smaller boxes? We're going to do that. This one happens to have, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it has some texture on the top. And then the bottom piece is just plain. So we're going to have two different boxes when we're done. And it's quite simple. And you're only going to need the boxes, the box pieces, scissors, tape, and a straight edge of some sort, either a butter knife, or I have this kind of bone folder spatula piece that I'm going to use. And all we're going to do is flip it around, and we are going to fold this edge so that it ends here. We're just going to fold it up. And this is a very inexpensive one, so it's quite soft and easy to do. Some of them will be a little bit more difficult if they're thicker cardboard. We're going to turn it this way, and then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to get that as creased as we can. It's not going to crease down all the way because it's cardboard, not paper. And you do want to be a little careful not to crack this. I'm not having any trouble, but I have in the past. Okay, so we have our fold. And then we're going to open it back up. And now we're going to turn it around. And we're going to do the same thing with this side. Get it straight and snug there. And then fold it down. Try to get as good of a crease as we can. And then we'll unfold it again. And you will see that we have kind of what looks like a book binding now. We're going to open it up and you will see that we have that crease in the middle. And the crease goes all the way down to the sides. So now we're going to take that, and I suggest using the outside as your guide. Well, maybe in this case the inside would be better. Whichever way that you can really see that crease very well. And we're just going to take scissors and we are going to cut this down so it butts right up against this edge. And we're going to do the same thing here. You want to go all the way to the edge, but you do not want to cut into this part at all. Sorry if the shadow is getting in the way, but I think this is getting the point across. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, and I think you can probably tell where we're going with this at this point. Okay, and you can edge these off a little so that you can just take little dovetails off there if you want to. I'm not going to bother for today. Now it's just a question of deciding which is top and which is bottom, and I think this will be top. It's got a smudge on it, so maybe this will be top. I'm just going to kind of make sure that's going to work. And it is very nicely. So now all we need to do is take this little flap that we made, and we're going to tape it to the inside of the bottom. And I always fold this part out so it kind of stays out of my way. And I'm just using regular Scotch tape. And this is the only kind of fussy part. You want to hold that in, and I don't know if you can see, but, and I'm just going to, actually I'll hold it this way. I do it a little differently when I'm not doing it on camera, but I want you to be able to see. Let me tape it right across there, and I'm going to put another piece down there. And see, this this part comes up just a little bit. You could trim that off if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother for the video. And I think I'm also going to tape the outside. You could use double stick. I would suggest actually that you use double stick tape here so that you don't have any tape showing on the outside. And I think it's actually going to be strong enough for me to leave it for now. But I would use double stick tape for just under this little flap here. And I'm just going to tape this side. And this can be done very quickly. I'm just trying to make sure it can be seen well. There. And now you fold the top down and you have a little gift box. And it is half the size of the bigger box. So you can make 2 smaller boxes out of one big one. We'll do the same with this one, but I'll do it off camera. And there we have it. We have turned one bigger shirt box into 2 smaller boxes. And I'm going to put this one to the side. We won't be using that today. Now we're going to take this one and decorate it without wrapping paper. I have moved over to my other bench, and I am going to now decorate this box. I have just a scrap piece of cardstock that I have cut down just as a template. And I also have just recently purchased a treat for myself. I bought a big set of Ardix acrylic markers. And this will be in a video after the first of the year. I will show you more about these. But acrylic markers are becoming quite popular again now. And so a lot of you might have some of these. And if you don't have these ones, you might have the Sharpie ones. And I chose these ones on purpose because there was a couple of colors in here I particularly wanted for this project. And the idea here is we are going to make this a decorated box without wrapping paper, but we're going to try to make it look as nice as if it had wrapping paper on it. And we're going to get started. First things first is we're going to use this template, and we are going to put it on the box slightly. We're not going on center here. By the way, let me show you. This is the same box. I just folded these parts in so I could fold it flat in order to be able to do this without any problem. We're going to place our template where we want it, and I want it over here on the side. You could put it in the middle, any place you wanted, but I am choosing to do it this way. A little bit more, I think. And we're just going to take a pencil and we're going to trace around our template. And you don't have to worry about your pencil lines being really, really light or anything, because we're going to be covering that line anyway. I have kind of a woodsy, natural, woodland animal type theme in my dining room this year. And so any gifts that go out under that tree are going to have pine cones, berries, trees, things like that on it. And so I'm going to try to make this box fit in that theme. And first things first, I'm going to take a light brown marker. Let's see, I believe this one will be good. And we're going to do the background of 3 pine cones here. And I'm going to go in the box, in this lined box, and outside a little bit as well. And I'm just going to make 3 ovals. Kind of group them together. And they don't have to be perfect. They're just the base of our decoration here. And I'll put one here as well. I'm going to leave this out so I don't forget which one I used. Then I am going to take a darker brown and I'm going to make 3 stems coming off. In case you haven't guessed, these are going to be pine cones. And then I'm going to make a couple of other stems to put some greenery on when we're done. These dry really fast. They're brush tip and they're acrylic markers. You can use them on all kinds of surfaces, and I find this kind of surface is perfect for them. I'm just going to check them for dryness, and they're almost dry. So we're going to take this same brown marker that we used for these stems, and we're going to come in and we're just going to make little marks all the way around the side. Of each pine cone, and we're going to just do some little swooshes in the middle as well. It doesn't look like much yet, but I promise you it'll look pretty good when we're done. We'll do all 3 the same. You want some of that lighter brown underneath to show through. You could do this, you could make Christmas lights if you wanted, Christmas baubles, anything you wanted for your little motif on the side, poinsettia, anything like that. I'm choosing pine cones. I'm going to use this under my own tree. And that goes for what I need. And while that is drying, we're going to take a green. I have one I like particularly well. It's this one. And we're going to just do some pine sprigs. Very simple. come up off the top of the stem and be very light with it. Like so. And I'm going to put another color on top of this too, but I'm going to wait until I get the pine cone completely finished before I do that. And I think we'll bring this out a little more. There we go. The only difficulty, and it's not really difficulty, but the only challenge you'll have is trying to keep your hand out of the other pieces when they're drying. And just in the time it took me to do those, my darker brown is pretty much dry. So I'm going to go in with a white one, and in between those dark brown, we're going to come in and just do some little marks that indicate the very tip. And I'm still trying to make sure I leave a little bit of that lighter brown showing so that you have quite a bit of dimension there. I'm just curling around at the top, the dark pieces. These are smaller pine cones, so I don't have to do too much, just a little. And you don't want them all going in the same, you don't want like 3 rows. You want to kind of offset them from the row above them. Now our pine cones are finished. And now we're going to go back in with a lighter green. I think I will use this one. And we're just going to come back up to give some dimension to our pine sprigs. And see, this time I can go over the pine cone a little so that it looks like it's nestled in there. You can see this is coming together very quickly. The fun little project to do if you don't have a ton of them to do. You know, if you have run out of wrapping paper, for instance, you could easily do something like this to compensate for that. Okay, so we're almost done with this. I think I'm going to add just a few little berries in here just to add some red. And I'm not going to worry about, I might put a little darker line down on the bottom, but you really don't have to. This is just basically a quick little piece. It doesn't need to take you forever. Okay. And I will show you that you can go in with a darker color and just bring a little bit more to the bottom. You could even take your dark brown and add stems to those if you wanted. You have to be really close up on the tip when you're working with a brush tip so that it stays thin enough. And you could go even further. You could put some little white dots in there. There's all kinds of different ways you could continue to embellish that, but I'm going to choose to stop there. In this set of Arctic's acrylic markers, there's also a gold and a silver. And that's how we're going to hide the pencil lines. I'm going to turn this upside down so that I'm not putting my hand in the part that I've done. Try to make this as flat as possible. And we're just going to follow the pencil line. And I don't have to come down very far on this side. Just kind of want to make it disappear. There we go. So there is that part done. Okay, this has dried already. And I have just a Fudnasuki pen that I leave on my bench that I'm going to use. You could use a fine liner or even a Sharpie if you wanted. And I'm just going to basically turn this in to the tag. I'm going to just put a for and a from. So now not only have we made the box, no need for wrapping paper, but now there's no need for tag either. Okay, so now we've moved back over to my other workbench that we started with. I use this one for this kind of thing because it's a standing bench. So if I am wrapping or cutting or anything like that, it's good to be standing. So I've moved back over here. And now I'm going to show you why I chose to put our tag piece section of the box off center. I just have a spool of satin green ribbon. And our box is all closed and all ready to go with a little gift in it. And I'm going to make a length of, I'm going to test fit it here because I'm not going to do a bow necessarily. I'm going to edit it down a little bit. I think that's enough. I'm going to cut it. And we're going to tie it. We're just going to tie a knot. I wrap a lot of gifts with just a knot like this for like men in my life that don't necessarily care about having all of the fluffy bows and things. I'm going to trim these ends down to about here. And there's several different ways you could do that, but I am going to just cut at an angle. Like so, and I might move it this way just a bit so that you can see the tag better. And there, we have upcycled something we already had, used all those acrylic markers that everybody is so jazzed about at the moment. And by the way, this is a very good application for that. It's all dry now. It's going to stay on there. If you wanted to not put the to and from on here right now, you could tie a tag to this and use the whole thing again next year if you chose to. But there you have it. And like I said, you could use any kind of motifs that you wanted. I hadn't done any arty type videos in this month of holidays, so I thought we'd try to sneak that back in a little. I promise you, first of the year, we're right back to the arty things. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.